not changing people. Well, anyways, I started out talking about cattle and kind of wandering all over. I have this stream of consciousness thing going that some people might call it ADD, but don't get me on that because I can, I literally, can zen. I can focus for days on one thing, like one thing and just stay there for a long time. So I guess I have the two extremes. Sometimes I ramble, but like in those ramblings, there's a lot that gets out there. This is therapy for me too, for anybody who's listening, obviously. So I don't speak to a therapist, I speak to the camera, which is like speaking to you. I like speaking to you. You know who you are. And I like listening. I like to glean over what I say later and see what the hell I'm saying and try to figure out why I say things and what it is that I want. It's done me good. I mean, this has evolved my life in the last few years, being able to dialogue with myself and with others. You'd be surprised how effective it is. Anyways, getting back to the price of beef. Beef is, these are real assets, value. If you get, for you guys who are into economics or economists and love economics, not just, the business side of it, but actually love the theories and love the postulates and all the idea that comes from macroeconomic management and stuff. You get into what is value. What money is fiat. It's all been like reduced to faith. Because again, it's a controversy between faith and real hard solid assets, and yet money is basically faith based. It's fiat money. It's printed by the Federal Reserve, and it filters out into the rest of the universe, into the rest of the world. Basically. So it's all governed by faith. You have to have faith that the system's working. You have to have faith that things have their intrinsic value. And of course, what is of most intrinsic value? Food. I think that's pretty damn basic. Food and water are like top of the true value assets on planet Earth, and then shelter, clothing, and these type of things, and everything else from there is like you can live without the UFC. Yes, Dana White, we can live without you. We can live without entertainment. We can live without a lot of things, but you cannot live without food and water or air. Or the sun. You know, Hopefully one day they don't commoditize the sun and the moon and everything that's in nature that's given to us for free, or we take for granted for free. But one day mankind will find a way to tax it. Remember the Beatles, the tax man. You know, they'll tax the freaking sun if they could. Not the sun, not the sun. Yeah, they tax the Son of God too, but they can't do that. He's taxing everybody else. So hard assets. I can't imagine a more solid asset than cattle. Beef, food on the hoof, and it's gaining traction. The price is going up. I don't like the idea of inflation because everybody knows, that I'm into the 2033 um, theory and the whole thing. I'm kind of like the promoter of that whole thing. So we're only 11 years from 2033, and the Bible says, there'll be a hyperinflation, and I don't like that. I don't like the idea of scarcity, especially where people are going hungry and food is being priced above and beyond what people can afford, and so that's really hard to get my head around. But whatever, come what may, I still have to do what I need to do, and we have to do what we need to do to survive and to prosper. And so cattle is the best hedge against inflation right now. And for all you guys who are hearing me in Canada and the U.S., I'm pretty picky about who I take on board as an associate, but I have a master plan. If anybody wants to hear about it, we've had like offers from Chinese and Arabs and all kinds of people. Not for our land. I don't want to sell this. Not interested in that. But I can find like 50,000 hectares for who has, if you got the money. We're talking 15, $20 million. Um, and that comes with a kind of a CEO clause there because I would like to manage that. I would like to manage the production and the output of beef and soy and corn and wood and all those things that come from the production of land out here. That's one thing one of my dreams is to, because I couldn't pull it off with my own resources. And I tried to do it back then when the paramilitary war started. My idea was to accumulate 500, half a million hectares, build out like 30, what was it, 30 or 50 stations, like cattle stations, with airport, with internal transportation, with slaughterhouse, everything, like, from hoof to delicatessen to franchises all over the country. So that was my idea originally. It hasn't gone away. I can still pull it off. I'm just not interested in building that type of empire. So I'm going to have to lay it on me. Lay it on me, and I'll lay out the land for them, because I can get this land for people. Not anybody can come here and just, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. It doesn't really work that way. You can try. You can try. But you go through the proper channels. And I believe that God would open that door. Anybody who's thinking 20,000, 30,000 hectares, some 10, 15, $20 million with some capital for investing in the infrastructure of the cattle. Start with, with 20,000 hectares, you know, have 10,000 cow reproducing, 10, 15,000. You do the math. Each one's worth about $500. Each new. Anyways, I'll leave that for the computers and for the bean counters. I'm just interested in the big dream, and big dreams, big ideas need a little bit of help from above. They don't happen just by being so freaking diligent and working, from the ground up. Opportunities do come, and beautiful situations do arise. And I'm a strong believer myself. I can manage all those things, God willing. I can do that. I can build you a little empire here. Whoever's listening out there who has the money, I can build you an empire out here.